Hello everyone and welcome back to your favorite political satire show. I'm your host, Jack Kessler.
And I'm Thomas Kohler. Let's get to it. Wilmington has seen its own share of political expression, as for the last few months, rival groups of Trump and Biden supporters have gathered on opposing sides of the Eastwood military cutoff intersection. We sent our correspondent Paula Toro out to meet with members from both sides and ask, just why are you guys out here?
I'm very hopeful. I think that we've got a phenomenal chance of winning. I think that we all need to wake up regardless of who we vote for, and we need to be kinder and better to each other and listen. I think that's the key to getting through any of this.
You know, I'm confident, but I'm still a little bit nervous because of what happened in 2016. We all woke up to the shock of our lives. So I think whatever we can do to mobilize our friends, family, neighbors to get out there and vote. And I have to say, I work at the polls and I've been seeing a huge Democratic turnout. So I feel good, but I'm keeping my fingers crossed.
The situation is there's something called the right of property. There's something called respect. There's something called that they don't have the right to disrespect our property. We're not doing it to them. It's like the left has their own standard. It's called freedom of speech if you agree with this, but according to the left, we don't have the right to have President Trump signs. We don't have the right to promulgate. We don't have the right to stand for what's true in America. So I told her, I called her an expletive. I said, leave our President Trump sign alone. And I was not nice, because when they start it, I'm not nice, because they disrespect us. And she needs to get her rear end in the gym, and she's overweight and ugly too, which is very sad, you know.
To see more of our rally coverage, check out our full story under Seahawks Central Politics, your one stop for serious political coverage on events in Wilmington and abroad. Now, all that's left to do is wait for the election results. We're filming this the Monday before Election Day, but to keep ahead of the news cycle, we filmed two different stories, one for Trump and another for Biden. Let's go to that footage now and see who won.
Wow, I can't believe Kanye West won the 2020 presidential election. Surely the Illuminati feels confident after this historic victory.
That's right, Thomas. In the end, it looks like Kanye scored big, either defying or matching expectations across the nation. We here at WTF are proud to announce these results before anyone else.
Official sources say that more than 90 million people have already cast their vote, 43% of registered voters nationwide. In addition, in 14 states, more than half of the registered voters have fulfilled their constitutional right. Could it be that finally this show can report on some positive news? Is it a Christmas miracle in November? Christmas season does seem to start early each year, so why not? Thanks, Santa.
Like us, you've probably been receiving non-stop ads about voting on Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Napster, Spotify, Apple Music, Venmo, GroupMe, Gmail, and, if you're one of its 12 remaining users, MySpace. By all accounts, those ads, foisted upon us day in and day out by every super PAC under the sun, have had their intended effect, as people seem to give a damn about this election. Even this year's early voting numbers are extraordinary, outpacing the number of votes cast by this time in 2016. Overall, people seem to be taking 2020 a lot more seriously.
Amazing what we can do with technology nowadays, isn't it? In other news, it's that time of the year again, the time when we all hunker down in our homes and hope the roof doesn't blow off. We're talking about the big storms that end up getting our cities more smashed than freshmen on Halloween night. These storms are commonly given fancy names that us civilians often struggle to pronounce. Now recently, a super typhoon hit the eastern Philippines. Typhoon Goni swept through the islands with 140-mile-per-hour winds, equivalent to a Category 5 hurricane.
The typhoon swept through densely populated areas in the Philippines, including the country's international airport. Fortunately, about 1 million people were evacuated before the storm hit, but by the time Goni departed, around 22 people were dead or missing. The East Asian archipelago is one of the most disaster-prone locations in the world. It has been predicted that the Philippines will have to endure another big storm in the next few days. So far, Wilmington has made it through hurricane season unscathed, but one has to wonder, will we get hit by another Florence soon?
The second presidential debate, which should have been the third one but was instead the last one due to a certain president refusing to hold it on Zoom, was slightly less interesting than the previous debates. This was mainly due to the fact that Trump showed a modicum of restraint this time, in that he kept his nonsensical interruptions and bullshit tangents to less than 30 seconds on average.
While viewers may have rolled their eyes at Trump's, shall we say, eccentricities and prayed that Biden would follow through on at least some of his promises, one thing was for certain. The biggest lie of the night was the promise of using a mute button. Said button, advertised as a cure for the previous debate's chaotic atmosphere, seems to have been nearly forgotten, and there were several occasions where it was sorely needed. Overall, many promises were made, but few were kept.
The former mayor of New York City and current shell of a man, Rudy Giuliani, was caught in what appeared to be a compromising position when Borat 2, subsequent movie film, was released last week. The film sees Sacha Baron Cohen return to his role as Borat from the 2006 film, a Kazakhstani journalist whose blunders and politically incorrect mannerisms create all kinds of controversial comedy. In this second trip across the pond for Borat, he is looking to top the first, which he does soundly with the help of everyone's favorite attorney, personal lawyer to the president, Rudy Giuliani.
In the now viral scene, we see Borat's 15-year-old daughter, played by 24-year-old Maria Bakalova, conducting a fake interview with Giuliani, unbeknownst to him, of course. The actress was pretending to interview Giuliani for a fake conservative news site, but would then offer herself as a bribe from the Kazakh government to get in good favor with President Trump. As the interview concludes, the two enter into a hotel bedroom where we get a pleasant image of Giuliani digging around in his trousers until he appears to grab something, which abruptly ends when Borat bursts into the room screaming, "She's too old for you." Giuliani has adamantly stated that the video was a fabrication, and if Cohen says otherwise, he's a stone-cold liar, to which Cohen has replied, quote, "Just watch the film." Well, that's this week's episode of With the Facts. I'm Jack Kessler.
And I'm Thomas Kohler. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.